What's going on, guys? Happy Friday. Hopefully it's still Friday by the time I upload this video, but nonetheless, hope you guys had a great week so far. And if you're new here, welcome to my channel. My name is Toni Hardy. I am a world-renowned speaker, life coach, entrepreneur, and humanitarian. I post all kinds of content, motivational, inspirational messages, vlogs, story times, you name it. I post it. You know what I'm saying? Just all about good vibes here on the channel. If you like my content, be sure to like, share, and comment down below. And also subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, guys. Alright, guys. Today, the reason why I'm always in my car is because I'm always on the go. And I've been trying, guys, to be more consistent. I've been trying to post, these videos a lot more frequently. Alright? So, like I said, I'm always on the go. That's why I'm always recording in my car. You know what I'm saying? But Anyways, guys, today I thought it would be pretty interesting to do a story time. I never really talked about when I lived in China. I kind of briefly mentioned it here and there in a few of my videos, but I never went into detail of how I went to China, why I went to China, how was my experience, and things like that, guys. So stay tuned. It's going to be a great video. We're going to get into everything, we're going to get into it all. And, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to ruin it for you, but, man, just stay tuned. Just stay tuned. You know what I'm saying? All right, so I guess I should start off by saying, for some reason, guys, I've always, I place emphasis on always, had an interest in the Chinese culture. I just felt like it was so interesting, how they had the different dynasties and, things like that. And I've just always been interested in their culture for since I can remember. All right, guys. And I remember it was in middle school. We had to do, like a whiteboard presentation. Well, not a whiteboard, but those little, those colorful boards that you get, and some people make like vision boards out of them. We had to do something like that. But in the 6th grade, we had to do that, right? We had to kind of put different goals that we would like to achieve in our life and then present it to the class. This is where it starts to get kind of wild, all right? So every time I say this, guys, people never believe me. But ever since a young age, I knew I was different. I knew that I was meant to travel the world. As a kid, I knew it was just something in me. Like, I can't explain it. I just knew that someday I was going to travel the world, right? And like I said, we had a class presentation to do. So on my board, I wrote that, I wanted to, study medicine. I wanted to travel the world. I wanted to study abroad in China, blah, 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 all this stuff, right? And I was super interested. I was super excited to share that with the class, because I'm like, yeah, I'm doing all this stuff. But little did I know that when you're a dreamer, you got to be careful. You have to be mindful of who you share your dreams with, because there are a lot of dream killers. There are a lot of closed-minded people, guys, who are going to just shoot your dreams down. They're going to laugh at you. They're going to call you crazy. And that's exactly what happened to me in the 6th grade as I was standing in front of the class. Bad enough, I kind of always struggled with self-esteem and confidence. And I didn't like speaking in front of, large crowds anyway. So in the first place, I didn't want to get up there, but I was excited. I'm like, I spent a lot of time on this board. It's looking kind of fire, and I can't wait to share my goals and my dreams. So, I'm in front of the class, and I got globes, I got globes, I got passports, I got planes, I got China, the Chinese flag on there, all this and that, right? And I was just telling people how, that I'm going to travel the world, that I'm going to study abroad, I'm going to do all this amazing stuff. And they laughed at me. They was like, yo, you crazy. You're not going to travel the world. You got to be more realistic. And I'm thinking to myself, this is realistic. Like I told you guys, I've always been a huge dreamer. I've always had like these wild, I don't want to say outlandish, because to me they aren't outlandish, but to other people they may seem out of this world type of goals and dreams and ambitions. And when I told them that I would like to someday study abroad in China, they laughed at me as if it was impossible. They laughed at me, called me crazy, told me to be more realistic as if it was not impossible. They told me all the reasons why I wouldn't travel. And you know, I guess for them that's normal because, like I said, there are a lot of closed-minded people in the world, guys. And when you got somebody who's a dreamer, you know, challenge you to think beyond your limited parameters, your limited vision. You got somebody standing in front of your sixth grade class, already know that she's going to travel the world. Your first instinct is to call her crazy, right? Okay. So that's what they did, guys. But I didn't let that discourage me. I just was like, okay, that didn't go over too well. So fast forward a few years later, I was in high school. I actually applied for my passport before I applied for my passport well in advance. I'm talking about years in advance before I ever left the country, because like I said, I knew that someday I was going to travel the world. I was going to do a lot of great things internationally. And so I applied for my passport. I think I was like 17, 18, whatever, right? I paid for it because I was working at the time, paid for my own passport, filled out the application myself, all this and that. And when my passport came, I was just looking at it, thinking of all the interesting places I was going to go. All right, guys. So fast forward again, a couple more years later, an exciting opportunity presented itself to me to travel to China, to live in China, and I hopped on it. Like, I didn't think twice about it. I didn't think like, I don't know the language. Who am I going to live with? Well, that did cross my mind. I stayed with a host family. But, you know, the minor things like, how am I going to get the money? I don't even speak the language. How am I going to, you know, get around in the country? Things like that. That didn't even cross my mind, to be honest with you guys. I just knew that ever since I could remember, I wanted to visit China, and now the opportunity had presented itself. So what I did was I saved up. Well, I started searching for flights. And, you know, I was emailing the coordinator who was putting together this program, like getting information, you know, when I was set to leave and things like that, so I can, you know, kind of prepare and pay for my flight. So at that time, I had a pretty good job. I was working at the hospital, and like I would just save up every time I get paid. I would just save up money to put towards my flight. No one in my family knew I was doing it. I'm telling you, nobody in my family knew I was doing it. So I think a one-way ticket was like I think like $1,200 something, around that price range. Probably like $900 to $1,200. I can't remember. It's about 6 years ago. But it was somewhere in that price range, right, guys? And I was like, you know, a one-way ticket will be fine because, you know, all I got to do is get there. Once I get there, I'll figure out how I'm going to get back, because I'm going to be there for a good little minute. You know, I'll probably have some income coming in from, because I was living with a host family and things like that. Or, you know, that's what it was. I had my income tax. So I was like, I'm going to save this income tax, and I'm going to put it away. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to take it with me. I took like a small chunk of it with me, right? And I put the rest away so that when I was ready to come back, you know what I'm saying, we can get that flight. But so I saved up. Took me a couple months to get enough money for the flight, and I emailed the coordinator like, okay, when does the program begin? When does it start? And she told me it started in February. I think it was like the end of February or whatever, right? February 2014. So I had just came back from, I'm kind of like jumping all over the place, guys, because I'm trying to include as many details as I can that led up to the experience, as well as my actual experience in China. That year that month I had just came back from Honduras. So, you know, I was in Honduras like thinking like, yo, I'm really about to do this. I'm really about to move across the world to another country. Not a different state, but a different country. Like, I'm thinking about all that, right? So, what else? Okay. So you had to apply for a visa. I wish I had my passport with me, guys, but why would I have my passport in the car, right? But anyways, you gotta apply for a visa. And I had difficulty applying for a visa because I wasn't enrolled in the school yet. It was something I was going to do once I got there, according to the coordinator. I was going to be enrolled in school. She was going to help me enroll in school and classes and everything once I landed in China and got settled. So I couldn't necessarily apply for a student visa. And then I couldn't apply for a work visa because technically I wasn't a citizen there. Technically, I didn't have a job lined up. So I forgot what type of visa I ended up getting. I'm trying to think. I forgot. I think it ended up being just like a tourist visa or something until I got there, and until I got there in the country and they would changed it somehow. I can't remember the exact type of visa, but long story short, I had a time getting my visa. I'm talking about like going back and forth to the DC. Going back and forth to DC, going back and forth to the embassy, the Chinese embassy, filling out paperwork, drive, like, it's something, you can't email this. Like, for some reason, you can't email this because, I don't know, so every time I had to reapply for the application, I had to get a ride to DC because I wasn't driving at the time, so I had to ask family members and friends. I had to, get my way to DC, to the embassy, to fill out the application again, because that's how determined I was to not let that opportunity pass up. And it was very frustrating, to say the least, guys. It took me about 2 months. I'm kind of like jumping ahead, guys. Please pardon me. I started applying for the visa, I think, in like December of 2013. Yeah, that's what it was. I started applying for the visa like December 2013 because the program was set to start in February of 2014. So it took, a couple weeks, couple months for, that long process of being denied a visa several times, because the Chinese government is very, very strict on who they allow in their country. For some odd reason, you got to have all your dots in line. You got to have all your T's crossed, all your I's dotted, all that, yo. So that was a long, drawn out process, and I was starting to get, frustrated. I was starting to doubt the process, like, yo, maybe it's not meant to be. Maybe it's not going to happen. Little did I know that maybe that in that moment, that was God, testing my faith to see how bad I really wanted, to see if I'm persistent, to see if I was going to let this minor, inconvenience stop me from pursuing a lifelong goal, a lifelong dream, right? So, like I said, I was working at the hospital, and I had already purchased my flight because, like I said, the program was set to start on this particular date, and it was like limited slots. So the coordinator, she was like, if you don't come on this date, you're gonna have to wait a couple months because it was a long waiting list. It was a long waiting list, guys. So all this happened like in a span of a couple days or weeks or whatever. I got my flight ticket or whatever, and I'm still working at the hospital, still saving my money. And meanwhile, I can't, time is like winding down. Time is winding down for me to pack up and freaking leave. And I still hadn't been approved for my visa. So I'm like, yo, I don't know what I'm going to do. I already got this flight ticket. It's non-refundable. Like, I'm starting to like kind of stress about the whole situation a little bit, right? I remember so clearly, guys. I remember so clearly. It was a Friday evening. I was on my way to work. I was on the subway. I had got, like an email. I got an email from the embassy saying that my visa had been approved and that I can either have a third-party agency, take care of the rest of the process for me, or which that's going to take a couple more weeks. That was going to take like another week or so, right? Or I can come there and have it, expedited. I can pay an extra fee, come there, have it expedited or whatever, right? So that Friday I went into work. I'm thinking like, yo, my visa got approved and I got to leave by this date. Like I keep telling you guys that my dates were not flexible. For that program, it was not flexible. It was like, you're going to be there. You got to be here in China by this particular date, or you're going to have to go back on the waiting list. And I was like, yo, I'm not doing that. At that particular time, I was like, I knew what it took to get approved to get accepted into this program, and I'm not trying to, be on the waiting list for any longer than I have to, right? So went into work. I tried to talk to the supervisor. I told him my situation. I'm like, well, I guess I gotta put myself in her shoes. Your employee coming to you last minute talking about she moving to China. And that's that. And I gotta laugh about it, yo, because I try to talk to her, right? I try to tell her, like, I'm about to be leaving or whatever. I guess she ain't believe me or whatever. So, I think it was like a week. It was like a week. Yeah. It was that Friday I got the email. Then it was like that Sunday. The following Sunday I was set to leave. So I didn't even have an opportunity to put in a 2 weeks resignation notice, guys. I told her that Friday that I got the email, like, I got accepted into this program. I got my visa. I got my plane ticket, all this and that. And I'm moving to China next Sunday. So I won't be back after that. She didn't take that too well. And I probably wouldn't take that too well either. Working in a hospital is already busy, probably already short-staffed. And you got this girl talking about she going to China next Sunday. And it didn't go well at all, guys. It didn't go well. So, like I said, I'm kind of jumping around, trying to, remember everything at once. My parents, guys, I don't really know how to put it. They were kind of uneasy about the whole situation. Like I said, I had purchased my plane ticket, without anyone even knowing. I had talked about it, that I had talked about, my goal, my dream of someday visiting and living in China, studying abroad in China. And I guess a lot of people took it lightly. A lot of people didn't take me seriously or whatever, right? So, my father one day, he talked to me. He called me. He was like, your mom, he said, your mother doesn't want you to go to China. I was like, oh, okay. And so I'm thinking to myself, like, not to be rude, but I'm like everything is already set in stone. The plane ticket is paid for. The visa is approved. I got accepted into the program. Like, I don't really know what to say to that. Like, I mean, I guess I got to kind of put myself in their shoes as well. I was 23 at the time. That 23-year-old daughter is talking about moving not across the city, not to a different state, but across the world to a different country. Have you guys ever looked at the globe? I live in North America. China's all the way on the other side of the globe. So I guess they're just kind of like, they don't know what to think. They don't know, how to move about this situation. And I was already determined. Like, I'm going. I understand how y'all feel, but this has been a lifelong dream of mine, and it's coming true. And I'm going to be on that plane next Sunday. So it seemed like that week it was just like so much. My family, okay, they wanted to like kind of give me like a going away party or whatever, since they knew they wasn't going to talk me out of it. They knew that, okay, she's really going to China. We got to send her off good. So they gave me like a little going away party at home, and then we went out to eat where some of my friends and some of my other friends, they met us there. And we kind of just, we took pictures, and we enjoyed that good time together, right? And that next Sunday, I started packing up. That next Sunday, they drove me to the airport. I had my bags. I had two big suitcases. It was cold around that time. Yes, February. I had my thick coat, my passport, my documents, all that, and I was heading to the airport. And at that moment, it was just like, yo, this is real. at that moment, it's like, it's no turning back now. I mean, like, I could have, turned back if I really, really wanted to. But deep down inside, I really wanted to go. But at the same time, I had never done nothing on that magnitude. Like, like I said, I had just started traveling, but it's always been with family. It's always been with family and friends. I had never traveled, anywhere, that far by myself. So, the reality of the situation was really starting to, set in, guys. And I was starting to kind of get a little bit cold feet, but at the same time, I was like, what if I don't do it? Like, will this opportunity ever come up? And that's when I had to, like, really step outside of my comfort zone. So, they don't allow too many people in the airport, so we kind of had to say our goodbyes, like, outside as they dropping you off or whatever. My brothers helped me take my suitcases in, and I remember, like, I probably get emotional, guys. I remember, me walking away from my parents and from my siblings, like, in tears, like, just falling down my face, and I'm like, I can't turn back, because if I turn back, that's going to make them, feel uneasy. That's going to make them feel uncomfortable, because, like I said, they didn't want me to go in the first place. So if I turn back and show them that I was bawling, like, tears falling, like, yo, I'm leaving my peoples, I'm leaving my family, like, and this is real life. So I had to suck it up and keep walking into the airport, right? Got in there, went through security, all that, and when you're going to another country like that, it's not like you just going to, Florida or whatever. They scan your boarding pass. It's like an extensive check-in. They're checking your passport, making sure everything is legit. They're checking your visa. They're checking your documents from, like I said, my coordinator. They're checking everything, make sure everything aligned. Like, you got some place to stay while you're going to be there. You're not going to be dependent on the government to take care of you. I'm like, and that, like, I had a thick folder with all my paperwork, guys. So check-in probably took about 20 minutes total, right, guys? I remember so clearly. It was a layover flight. My first flight was from where I lived to Chicago, and from, what was it, Detroit? I think it was Detroit. Yeah, I think it was Detroit. Yeah, it was from where I lived to Detroit, and then from Detroit to Beijing. And I remember before hopping on the plane, I called my family one last time, because I didn't get an international plan, because the coordinator of the program, they told me that they were going to give me a phone and everything was going to be taken care of when I got there, all this and that, a phone on the Chinese network or whatever. So I didn't even bother to get an international plan or whatever. So I called my family one last time, just reminded them that I loved them and that, I was going to be okay. Although, like I said, I was still very, very much emotional. I let them know that I was going to be okay and that I was going to, check in with them again once I get to Detroit. So, get to Detroit. I think that layover was about an hour. And then when they started boarding the flight to Beijing, that's when it really, like, it set in at the airport, like when my peoples was dropping me off. But when I began to board the flight to Beijing, I was like, this is really real. This is really real. Like, now I really can't turn back. Because, like I said, guys, I had a one-way flight. And that was that. So, got on the flight to Beijing. It was, and when you travel internationally, guys, it's so nice. It's kind of like a first class business type experience. You got your own little, it's way better than, regular, when you're traveling just to a regular destination. You got, a nice seat that reclines back. You got, it's like a cushion seat. You got a nice television on the back of the seat. They feed you meals. They feed you hella times, like 3 or 4 times throughout the flight. The flight was like 13 or 15 hours or whatever, guys. So I definitely slept a lot, and it was kind of cool to me. Like, every time I would look out the window at one time, and it would be dark, and then it would be light again. I'm just like, yo, this is a long time to be on this flight, my guy. Long time. So, I finally landed in Beijing, and that's when the anxiety started, because it set in. Like, I moved to China, and I do not speak the language. How stupid of me. Like I said, guys, up until that point, I didn't think about all the fine little details. I just knew that I was kind of like stepping out on faith. Like, everything is going to be taken care of. If I just move out on faith, everything is going to align. Everything is going to align. So I remember, walking through the airport. And my phone is still on. Like, I just can't make phone calls. I can't make phone calls, right? So, I'm trying to use the Google Translate to, ask my way around, because I didn't live in Beijing. I lived in Wuhan. That's, I already know y'all about to come for me in these comments, but, before y'all start being ignorant and all that, anyways, let me just finish the video. I lived in Wuhan, China, which was about 2 hours away from Beijing. Beijing is the capital of China, the main city. That's where, everything takes place. Beijing kind of reminds me of New York. I've never been to New York, but Beijing kind of reminds me of New York. It's so fast paced. Everybody's on the go, 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 go. And I'm just trying to find my way through the airport. Like I said, I don't know how to pronounce the goddamn words that the Google Translate is telling me, and I'm kind of getting frustrated. I'm like, yo, what was I thinking? Like, who moves to a foreign country and doesn't even speak the language? I can see if I knew a few phrases or whatever. But my parents did buy me like a book, a travel guide. So I had that. I had the travel guide. It was like Chinese for Dummies. So you can, like, some of the most popular phrases that you would need as a tourist, as you're, wandering around China or whatever, right? So I had the travel guide, and I had Google Translate, and I'm just trying to, but the people were so nice, guys. They were so nice. I guess they seen, like, this black girl, just looking so lost and confused, and so many people, like, came up to me, like, are you okay? Can I help you? A lot of people they can say whatever they want about the Chinese people, man, but I love them. They are so nice, so genuine, and like I said, they just made me feel so comfortable, like, because I guess they can see, like, I'm frantic. I got no, I'm lying. I didn't have my 2 suitcases. I had my book bag. My suitcases were going to the final destination. I had my backpack. I had my travel guide in one hand. I had my phone, looking at the Google Translate in one hand, just looking up at the signs. I don't know I can't read the symbols. I'm just like, oh my God, what was I thinking? So a lot of people came up to me, asking me, what do I need? How can they help me? And they pointed me in the right direction. Well, they actually walked me to where I needed to go to get my next flight to Wuhan. It's also known as Hubei, the province of Hubei. So, once I got there to, excuse me, guys, I got a text message. Once I got there to the checkout desk or whatever, I meant the check-in desk, they checked all my documents. It wasn't as extensive as it was leaving the United States, because I was already in China. I had went through customs, I had passed customs, all that. They just had to, make sure that I was getting on a correct flight, all this and that. And got on that flight. That was another 2-hour flight to Wuhan. And when I got to Wuhan, my coordinator had already told me that they were going to have someone there pick me up in a car, have someone there with a sign with my name on it, so I know, who to go with or whatever, right? So sure enough, when I arrived in Wuhan, got off the flight, went through, check out all that, get my bags, 2 big suitcases, chugging them through the airport, and then I'm out of breath, guys. This is a long story time. Oh my God. Chugging them big suitcases, and then I seen someone holding a sign, "Welcome to China, Toni." And that's when it set in. I'm like, yo, I'm really in China. I really moved to freaking China. So this story time is kind of like far from over, guys, and I apologize because this is one of my longest videos, but I told you I'm gonna get into everything. So this is where I keep saying it got real. Like each time it got a little bit more realer, if that's a word. I don't think that's a word, but y'all know what I'm trying to say. I never even told my family this because, like I said, they didn't even want me to go in the first place. And if I told them like I felt uneasy, they probably been calling the embassy trying to get me back to the United States, all that, yo. Like, oh my god, yo. So they picked me up. We got into it was a black car. I think it's like a black Audi or whatever, right? By this time, it's like 9 o'clock at night. I've been traveling all day. I had been traveling all freaking day, guys. So by this time, it's about 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. They take my bags. They put them in the trunk or whatever. Get in the car. We drive. I'm thinking, I'm like, all right, cool. This is who the coordinator, set up for me to meet. I'm like, they gonna take care of me. Yo, when I tell you, they started taking dark roads, going through back alleys. I'm like, oh my god. I'm like, yo, I hope they not about to sex traffic me or something. Yo, everything was going through my mind. Because, yo, imagine being in my position. My phone no longer works my U.S. phone no longer works in China. I don't know these people technically. They were set up by my coordinator. And no one knows exactly where I am in Wuhan. So many things were going through my mind, and it just wasn't looking good, to be honest, guys. So we were driving through back roads. I'm like, oh my god. Like, I was really thinking the worst. I was really thinking like, I'm about to be sold into sex trafficking. Like, no lie, guys, on everything I love. This is no BS. I'm not trying to make y'all laugh. Like, this is real life. I never told my family this to this day. So for my family members who watch my channel, this is real life, guys. So that drive to my house, my host family house was about an hour from the airport or whatever, right? So finally get there. It's a nice condo building. I can tell it was nice from the outside. So we pull in the garage or whatever, right? We pull in the garage. Yeah, we pull in the garage. They take my bags. Mind you, we can't communicate. We're not communicating to each other because my driver doesn't speak English. I don't speak Chinese, so it's an awkward, quiet ass ride. Excuse me. We get to the condo. We get to the building. They pull in the garage or whatever. They take my bags out. We go up. Nice elevator. So I'm like, okay, things is working out. Nice elevator. Get up. We lived in a penthouse. It was a penthouse suite. So get up there. My coordinator had came to meet me. At the house, I guess to make me, to officially welcome me and, and to let me know that the following day after I had rested, and everything like that, that we were going to meet up officially. She was going to get all my documents. She was going to get my Chinese phone, my cellular phone, so I can, make calls and things like that. But she just wanted to, welcome me to the family and us it was kind of like a meet and greet situation with everybody, with the coordinator, the family, myself, everybody, right? So I get there. This older lady opened the door. She didn't speak English, and then I guess she was trying to signal me to let me know that my coordinator, Julin. I ain't even gonna say her last name, but she was pretty great. Always made me feel at ease and everything. But I guess she was trying to signal me to let me know that my coordinator would be, arriving shortly. So that's what happened. I'm confused because this lady don't look anything like the pictures. I'm just gonna be honest, because they send you a picture of the host family, and they send your picture to the host family so you guys can kind of match faces or whatever, right? matching face with the picture or whatever, right? So I'm like, oh, okay, who is this lady? So the coordinator failed to tell me that my host family had went to Australia. Oh my, I'm just thinking like, oh my God, like what in the heck is going on? What did I get myself into? Like, she said, I'm so sorry, completely slipped my mind. The host family I lived with, I had a little brother, little sister, and an older sister, which I never officially met my older sister, right? But she was telling me that they had went to Australia because that's where their older daughter was studying. That's where she was attending school or whatever, right? So I'm like, y'all failed to tell me a major, that's pretty major. That's a pretty major detail there. So she was like, while they're in Australia, you're gonna be staying with the grandmother, and I'm like, okay. She wasn't married, so it was just the grandmother or whatever, right? So I think my host family, my host mother, father, and they were set to be in Australia for about 10 days, I think. 10 days or whatever, right? Bear with me, guys. Like I said, this is gonna be a long video, probably about at least an hour long, guys, because I'm gonna get into all the details, you feel me? So got me settled in or whatever. I remember we had to take our shoes off every time we come in the house. I think that's Chinese custom. Every time you come in the house, you have to take your shoes off or whatever, right? And it's a sign of respect. So got situated. My coordinator left, told me she'll be back in the morning after I rested, and that we were gonna, go to the office and, meet the other staff, meet the other students, because I was in like an exchange program. But the thing about it, although it was an exchange program and I stayed with the host family so that I can attend school, no one from China came to the U.S. to stay with my family. So it's kind of like a one-way exchange situation, right? So she was explaining to me the next day that I was going to meet the other students in the program. I was going to meet the other coordinators and people, that I can communicate with throughout, my time in the program to help me, transition and get used to life in China or whatever, right? So after Julian had left, that's the name of my coordinator. After she left, the driver left. They had a personal driver. The driver left, and then it was just me and the grandmother. So she showed me to a room in the back. So open the door. It's very nice. It was a very nice apartment. I think it was like 4 bedrooms, a 4-bedroom condo. Very nice. So she showed me to the room in the back of the house, and I was like already leery about them. Like, well, I gotta sleep in the back. I guess, she don't know me. You know what I'm saying? She opening her house to a complete stranger while her daughter, until her daughter comes back from Australia or whatever, right? So my house is in the back of my room is in the back of the house. You had to go through the kitchen to get through my room or whatever, right? So I'm getting settled in. And I wanted to come back out, because I didn't want to just stay in my room. Although I didn't speak Chinese, I didn't want to, I didn't want to seem like standoffish or whatever. So I came back out, but the grandmother had already went back to her bedroom or whatever, right? Because by this time, it's like 11 o'clock at night, 11:30 at night. So as I'm walking back through the kitchen, I noticed this big cage, guys. I'm like, a big cage with like a trap door. I'm like, yo, what is that? I'm thinking like, I'm thinking like, what is it? But at the same time, like, it can't be nothing, right? It can't be nothing. So I get settled in. I went to take a shower. I had a shower in my bedroom. I went to take a shower. I didn't unpack because I knew that this wasn't my final destination. I knew that once my host family came back, that I was going to be moving again. So I didn't really unpack. I just kind of took out, some few essentials and just left my suitcases, up against the wall. Took a shower, went to bed. Next day, like I said, I had a little brother, but he wasn't really I would say he's my cousin because he was my host mother's brother's son. That's a mouthful. So my host mother's nephew. So, but Chinese people, they just call everybody brothers and sisters, right? Because it was a close-knit family. So my little brother Charlie came over the next morning, and I woke up, he gave me a hug or whatever. And Charlie speak good English. So he was my road dog, yo. Charlie was my road dog. We clicked instantly. I think he was like 10. He was like 8 or 9 at the time, right? So me and Charlie clicked instantly. And I noticed him playing with that same cage that I had, peeped out the night before, right? So I'm like, I ain't really still not thinking too much about it. I ain't going to get into all the details, guys, because I will be here for about 3 or 4 hours. So I'm going to kind of like jump around. I'm going to kind of like fast forward. So fast forward, I meet my coordinator. I meet everybody else. I got my cell phone, whatever. I got enrolled in school. They took me to the school. I attended Wuhan University. I'm going to see if I can put some pictures up here. I'm going to see if I can insert some pictures in the video, but I don't have too many of my pictures left over. They were in my laptop. My laptop is now destroyed, so I don't have too many of my pictures from China, but I'm going to try to put a picture of Wuhan University somewhere in the video. Took me to Wuhan to get acclimated, familiar with the campus. It was a big campus, guys. They showed me around the subway station how to, get on the subway, how to swipe my card. It's like a Metro card or whatever, right? That they load up the company. The program. They load it up every month or however frequently or how often you need it or whatever, right? So if you're traveling, for me it was I think I was traveling like 4 times a week, back and forth to school, guys, and I had to transfer a couple times. So we did that, and the next 4 day we did that. When they took me back to the grandmother's house, right? Guys, you would not believe it. And this is another part of the story when I say I'm not trying to make y'all laugh. I'm not joking. I'm not BSing. This is real life stuff, guys. I walk in the house, like I said, got to walk through the kitchen and get through my bedroom, right? I walk through the kitchen. I look down. I see a big, excuse my language, I see a big ass rat in the cage, bro. I'm like, oh my God. Oh my God. Because I don't like rodents, guys. I'm petrified of rats, mice, all that. So I'm like, oh my God, what is going on here, guys? Like, lie to you not. Like, I would use my phone to take pictures and send it back to my family because they didn't believe me, yo. They thought I was joking. That rat was big, bro. And they would feed it every day, yo. Feed it. I'm like, yo, why is they feeding this rat? I'm gonna get to that. I'm gonna get into all that, right? What else? I guess I can tell you the rat story. So, a couple weeks went by. I'm going back and forth to school or whatever. Well, probably like a week and a half went by. I'm going back and forth to school. Because like I said, my host family is still in Australia at the time. And, meanwhile, they're fattening this rat up, guys. Getting this rat super fat, bro. I'm like no lie. That went on for about a week or whatever, right? I'm jumping around. I'm fast forwarding a lot, guys. So it kind of seemed like I'm all over the place, and I do apologize, but I'm fast forwarding because, like I said, if I go into every single detail, I'll be here for at least 4 or 5 hours. So I'm kind of jumping around, I'm kind of fast forwarding, but still trying to remember, key details. So they was fattening the rat up, right, guys? Every morning I leave off of school, I would see the rat there. Come home, rat there. And they would put like peanut butter on a stick in the cage, right? Feeding it. One day I came home from school, the rat was gone. No! Oh my God, yo, how did I forget this? Before I seen the rat in the cage, guys, I would, like I said, I lived in the back of the house, so I would, always hear, like when you hear metal knocking up against something. I don't have anything to, fully demonstrate, but, when, say, let me see. So, it was something along those lines as regarding the noise, right? So, one night I'm chilling in my bedroom on a computer, And I started hearing something like I said, bouncing up against metal. And I'm like, yo, what the heck is that? So like every time I would open my door and like walk into the kitchen, it would stop. I go back into my room, it start back. And like I was so scared because the grandmother's room was through the kitchen. You had to walk through the kitchen, make a right, and go down the hallway. I said it was a big condo. So I was like, yo, I don't know what to do, bro. Like I'm petrified to walk through this kitchen at this point. So I called my mother. It's the time difference. So I called my mother. It's probably like I don't know what time it was in China, but I knew it was daytime in United States. So I called my mother like, Ma, I don't know what's going on. I keep hearing noises, like something banging up against metal, and I'm scared to go get the grandmother. She's like, what you want me to do? And I had to think, like, what really did I want her to do? Like, she's almost 13 hours away. I guess it was just the comfort of, me wanting to call my mother. So, called my mother. She was like, just stay in your room. I'm like, that's what I'm doing. I'm like, that's what I'm doing. Yo. When I tell you, I kept hearing that noise, yo. She was like, plug your door up just in case it's like a critter or whatever, right? She was thinking like a mouse or whatever, right? She was thinking very small. She was like, plug your door, because she know I'm petrified. Like, I have a phobia of rats, mice, anything that crawls and that's creepy. I have a phobia, guys. So she was like, just plug your door, put some towels and sheets under your door so that, the mouse won't come in. I'm like, all right, cool. I start plugging my door, right? Good, yo. Oh my God. Yo, I'm so happy I plugged my door, bro. And like in my room, they had like big tall jars of olive oil. They had like 3 tall jars of olive oil, guys. So I plugged my door with sheets and towels, right? Boom. Then I put the olive oil like up against the door as well to kind of like keep the sheets in place. Yo, I'm on my computer. I'm thinking like, yeah, I'm good. I'm safe in here, right? I'm on my computer. I just happened to look down. Yo, the jars, the things of olive oil are moving, bro. Like, they are moving. I'm like, yo, this cannot be life. This cannot be freaking life right now. Like, I'm sitting, I had a bunk bed in my room and I had like a regular twin bed. So by this time, I had climbed up on the top of the bunk bed, bro. It had no bed up there. It was just like, it's like a piece of wood because that was like, I guess it was like a spare bedroom or like a storage room or whatever, right? I'm not gonna say a storage room. It wasn't bad, but it was no mattress on a bunk bed. Let's just say that. It was no mattress on the top bunk bed. But I was like, I don't care. I'm gonna get up here because I don't know what's trying to come in this room right now. So I hop up on the top bunk bed, bro, and I steady see them big tall jars of olive oil moving, bro. I'm like, yo, that's not a mouse. I'm confident that's not a mouse. I don't know what it is, but I know for sure that's not a mouse. So, yo, it was a long night, bro. A long night. I'm sitting up on the top of the bunk bed looking stupid, scared as heck. I didn't want to keep calling my mother, getting on her nerves, because she was trying to, she was getting ready for work or whatever. So I'm like, plus it's nothing she can do anyway. So, next day, I'm petrified. Like, I don't want to walk through the kitchen, but that's the only way to get out of the house. It was for me to walk through the kitchen. So, I walked through the kitchen, left out the house or whatever, went to school, came back from school that day, yo. Looked down. That's when I seen a rat. That's when I seen a rat in that big cage. That cage, and I was wondering, I was like, what is this for? That's what that was for, guys. Like, oh my God. I'm kind of like getting traumatized all over again, guys, because y'all don't understand. Like, y'all don't understand, man. I seen the rat, and that's when they was feeding it for a couple days, couple weeks or whatever, right? Getting it fat. One day I came home from school, the rat was gone. The rat was gone, bro. So I'm like, I started putting 2 and 2 together, like, bruh, they was feeding this thing. They had it caged up, and all of a sudden it's gone. So I was confident that that rat was dinner. And ever since then, I'm not even lying on everything I love, yo. I didn't eat no more meat. I didn't eat no more meat in China, bro. I'm like, I lost so much weight. I lost so much weight because all I was eating was fish, vegetables, rice, and oodles and noodles, yo. That was my diet, bro. And potatoes and whatever. But I ain't no meat. Because I knew, like, yo, that pet rat was our dinner that was their dinner that night, yo. Because I ain't eat. And every time I tell that part of the story to, you know, family and friends, they think it's so funny. They're like, yo, Toni, yo, you know you ate that rat. I'm like, I ain't even gonna cap. I ain't even gonna cap on camera, guys. I probably did eat some rat. Because they used to, you know what I'm saying, no telling what they was doing. No telling what they was cooking until I seen that rat, yo. Like, I just happened to see it one day. And mind you, I was there for already 2 weeks. No telling what was on my plate for the past 2 weeks, yo. So I ain't even gonna cap for this camera. That's just that, guys. So I'm trying to think, guys. That there just kind of like really set the tone. I was like, yo, when is this family coming? Because I'm ready to get out of this spot. I'm ready to dip. Like, I can't take this no more. I can't take this rat situation no more, yo. Like, that's pretty much. I'll probably make a part 2, guys, because this video is already a lot longer than I wanted it to be. But yeah, guys, that's my story of living in China. Like I said, I probably will drop a part 2 very soon, guys. But yeah, y'all already know I always got to end it off with some motivation, some inspiration. And today's motivation, guys, is to always go after your goals and your dreams, regardless of what obstacles are standing in your way. You feel me? Because there were so many obstacles standing in my way, preventing me from going to China. Had I succumbed to those obstacles and just given in with defeat, I would have never had that. You know, it was a great experience for me. It was a once-in-a-lifetime experience for me. So, guys, regardless of how many obstacles, regardless of what obstacles you are up against, don't give in. Don't give in. If your dream is worth it, you got to understand that you're going to have to go over some hurdles to make it happen. And sometimes everything is not going to come easily. Sometimes God is going to test you to see if you really want it, or you just capping, or you just talking because it sound good. You feel me? So that's today's message, guys. If you stay tuned to the end, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. And like I said, I'm going to be dropping a part 2 of living in China very soon, guys. Probably, I don't want to give a date, but I'm going to drop a part 2. And I'm going to tell you about my other experiences in China. All right, guys. Until next time, remember that you are absolutely limitless. There's absolutely nothing you cannot be, nothing you cannot do, and nothing you cannot achieve if you put your mind to it. All right, guys. See you guys in the next video.